Your hand there. I'm going to call on you, Brad.
I,
Brad Williams,
I have a question.
present. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. Why do I have an echo, Brad? Is that me?
Now let me turn that down a little.
Okay, cool. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your time. We are grateful. That's how we always start these presentations. Without you listening, we would be nowhere because you spread the good word. And we've got some amazing words to tell you. So let's rock and roll. Before we start, please understand that Trade Ideas is not a registered investment advisor. All the information that you're going to hear from myself, from Brad Williams, or anyone at Trade Ideas should be construed as information for informational and educational purposes only, and never, ever, ever as registered investment advice. All right, now that we got the disclaimers out of the way, let's dive into the good stuff. Brad, I see. So you guys, what you don't know is that while Brad was not looking, he has secretly been photoshopped in the line. Can Brad find himself? It's not going to be easy, Brad. I got to tell you.
I'm at the front of the line, am I not?
Yes, man, could be, could be. So listen, everyone, joking, not joking, all the freebies have been handed out. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, and that Seinfeld holiday that Philip really likes. It's funny. Exodus? I forget what it was. But where are we now? We are in the holiday season. It's time to start your new year, and we are selling the 1,000 Brokerage Plus installs at $1,100. This is the line that's currently forming. Brad is somewhere in this line. I will show you why this line looks this way. I'm going to tempt you. Yes. Now you are seeing no longer fake stuff. You're seeing real stuff. These are real orders that really happen, real P&Ls. Awesome stuff. Festivus. David Goodman, very good. Correct. Correct. Festivus. So
A little crowdsourcing there. Thanks, David.
yeah, absolutely. The meritocracy is fantastic. So guys, ladies, gentlemen, let me tell you, number one, what's super cool about everything here. Couple of things you need to be aware of. First of all, this, Brad, as my witness, you kind of need witnesses, right, for miracles, Brad? Brad, as my witness, you saw this because we were both watching the screen at the same time. These are real trades that really happened, and this is our race car. This is Brad and I in the General Lee. Sometimes he's driving, sometimes I'm driving. Very often we find ourselves in the air with the greatest of ease. Two young men in a flying trapeze. Daring moves.
All right.
Okay, sorry. I can keep on going. That's part of my art. But what you should see is similarities between what you know in the Holly Brokerage Plus and the Holly interfaces that you see on our channel bar. You see similar colors so that you are able to keep track. In fact, as we jump to the demonstration, we're going to talk about how it's possible to move from one interface to the other. But the cool thing here to really show is that what an amazing experience it is for Brad and I. We don't win every day, by the way, and we haven't like the last two. But we also have to do some stuff where you really have to lose on purpose, too. You have to feel real pain to resolve how you resolve getting out of that situation. How do you move with the colors? How do you work on testing, making sure that the flattens work in all situations, the half button works in all situations, the double, the reverse, the limits out. All this stuff is being done for you right now by us on the test track, and the beauty is sometimes, Brad, we even win the race.
Sometimes we do. I mean, it's really cool. Let me kind of stop you and let people kind of know what you're talking about. It's really the convergence of a couple bits of tech that we have inside of our product. We've got this tool called Brokerage Plus, which allows you to do a lot of different things. I mean, it's just like you said, Dan, it's like a race car, but in a race car, there are a lot of different ways, or a car in general, there are a lot of different ways you can drive it. You can drive it super fast, or you can drive it slow. You could be methodical. You could do Tiptronic. You could do manual shifting. So many different ways to do it. And Brokerage Plus is kind of like that. But it's the convergence of this Brokerage Plus tool with our AI technology and being able to not only automate your own strategies that you create, or being able to be one click away from sending an order to the market, but being able to automate the different artificial intelligence ideas that we're generating on a daily basis. So it's super cool, really fun. It's not just tech that facilitates it, but from a trader, for someone that's using it and moving around the marketplace, it really is just a fantastic way to do it. And so we're in testing mode right now. We're putting some features, fixing some bugs, and bringing this tool out to you sometime in January is our goal. So we're taking reservations for it right now. So that was my little spiel, Dan. I just kind of wanted to.
Brad, fantastic. Love it. One of the cool things that I wanted to show you guys is that, Brad, is are my arrows visible? So you can see where I am on. Okay, good. So like if you notice here, some amazing numbers are possible. So just like imagine what this looks like, 8.98. I mean, so here I'm just, because I had stayed short in some things, and we have to test that too, by the way, so that this isn't just about in, out, in, out. We understand that not everybody trades just to get out of everything, although you have those options. So here, we're holding it overnight, we get out in the next morning, etc. But the beauty is, look at, it's communicating with you. 4 trades, average winner per trade. I mean, it's just dialed in. This is the Ferrari. And one of the coolest things happened, Brad, today from our good friend Barry, with whom we were in a meeting. Well, actually, it wasn't today. I think it was yesterday. Barry and I were in a meeting with some of our other members of the company, and Barry was mentioning that he himself, Brad, was doing what? Starting to use our own Brokerage Plus and liking what he's seeing. And the interesting thing is, guys, if you understand how we work as a company, we kind of, we don't adhere to traditional corporate norms, shall we say. So Barry has a lot of freedom. We don't want him to necessarily push stuff that he doesn't believe in. Yeah, I know, it's a weird thing. Forget, I know. But ultimately, Brad, the nicest compliment is when Barry came up and said, guys, I started using this.
Well, because I think it illustrates the fact that a lot of different types of traders will get benefit out of using this tool here, because not only does it allow you to do execution super quick and really easy, and you can customize these types of right-click executions, how much you're going in, what type of order it is, but we give you that P&L graph on the left, and it's a really simple thing, but it's so powerful because what it's letting you know is it's giving you some historical representation as to how your profitability has been going. Are you trending? Are you just kind of meandering? These are really good informational bits of knowledge to know of how you're going to proceed with your trading. Are you going to lighten up on your size? Are you going to really step on it? What is it that you want to do? This information is critical.
And not only that, but let me tell you guys, I mean, we've known this for years, and I think it's almost no surprise that the financial industry keeps this information away from people. But Brad, as you yourself, because Brad's been driving this week, do you notice that the P&L is just much more visceral than a chart? The way that you're viewing your P&L graphically, and especially like kind of with those spikes, it's almost like, whoa, scary. There were points in time. Look at like what happened. Look at the volatility. Just saying here, right? From 2,500 to almost 425, then to close on highs. That was not an easy slope if you're doing some outback riding.
Right, but but it's indicative of how the market moves in a breathing fashion.
Yeah, and that's what I'm trying to say, guys. I mean, I guess you should hear the passion in my voice, because the software starts to speak viscerally to you. Ask yourself, who else tracks P&L like this, right? Nobody. Why? Because they don't want you to know. They don't want you to feel it. Well, we do, and not only that, but we help the software do it. So I got to just say, Brad, so let me ask you personally, because Brad and I haven't actually had a chance to talk about how you specifically did the exits. Did you let it go till the end, or did you do your own limit out? And if you did, then maybe you can tell the audience what the hell it is I'm talking about.
Yeah, well, I did, like I was talking to you earlier, I did uncover a bug where I had it set in a risk off mode, and then I tried extending stops, and it didn't adhere to that extension and got me out of everything in a risk off mode. So it was great for bug testing, and we were able to ferret that out. But
the stuff that you were in at the end, did you have a time stop on that?
Yeah, I had a time stop, but I actually just flattened it. I did a limit out. I think there were 5 positions that I had left.
You then describe to people, because I always say one of the funniest things, and I don't know if it's, I guess it's because of interactive brokerage, but the way, does it automatically turn on everyone's sound when they do a trade, and you're like, order sent?
I think, we're listening to the sounds from Trader Workstation, the default sounds, which are pretty cool, and it does give you a good indication of what's happening. It is the fully Tiptronic aspect, as it's talking.
So tell people what happens when you highlight.
Let me explain that, because I'll just take this illustration that you have right here with Facebook, Oracle, Cisco, and Twitter. These positions here can be all exited very, very quickly and rapidly, or they could be set up with a time stop. And today what I did was I just highlighted my lot of positions. So you just basically select Facebook and then hold the shift key down and select Twitter, grabs all 4 of those positions. And I selected the limit out button that's over on the right hand side. So we have a few rapid execution buttons here, and they allow you to do a few things. You could flatten it and send a market order and get out of all those positions that are highlighted very quickly, or you could limit out and you could send a limit order at the last price, or the last price plus or minus a delta. Try to get executed that way prior to flattening your positions. And everything was able to be executed through a limit out function today. But it's really nice to be able to do multiple orders simultaneously, or to be able to take a few of your big winners as the market's breaking out, highlight them, and then select the double to double the size of those positions and let them continue in the fashion.
There's also,
and I was going to show, is we have this ability to do this right-click execution. So when you enter into a trade inside of Brokerage Plus, using either the AI functionality or your automated trades.
Brad,
yeah.
Should I go to the software or stay on the Prezo?
Oh my gosh, I thought you were. I thought you were on the software, but
Of course, guys. Can I just tell you how good I am? See, Brad, I got Brad like Crocodile Dundee had the water buffalo.
Well, we have a lot of different ways to use it. So we've got that execution panel that you see in the upper left-hand window.
I got him.
But you've got the execution panel right there. That's kind of a standard way to do it. But we also have this right click, the ability to set up these customized, I don't know, I call them macros, but they're a number of steps. It's like an order instruction sheet, and it's inclusive of your stop, your profit target, how long you want to hold that position, all that good information. It's all inside of a right click. So in any one of the windows that we have, whether it's an AI window or a top list alert window, you can really execute right into your Brokerage Plus tool just like that through the right click menu. So that's pretty slick and sophisticated.
Right. So now I'm on now I'm on Trade Ideas Pro, and you're seeing and again, it's good to see that. Again, I want to remind everyone, we have tons of channels from all sorts of stuff. Like, for example, if you just want to see like what's kind of just running up, I mean, it's kind of a funny thing, Brad, right? But here, it's not like you're not going to catch it. Everything that goes up goes through here. It cannot be missed by definition,
So Neer's asking a question, and he says, I assume you want more and more users to buy it. Well, we put a cap on that, right? And we haven't reached that cap to where we feel we're exceeding it, but we are limiting this to a certain number of users, and it's not to exceed 1,000.
Yeah. Everybody, so beforehand, everyone who had purchased the premium software prior to November 15th was quote unquote now grandfathered into what had been a beta version where it had no capability of commingling with the AI. But as we bring it to launch, what we're really trying to do is give people who, again, who otherwise maybe somebody a little bit older or somebody who's just not as confident in their dexterity, you know, which may be many people, by the way, especially as the market moves quick, lets the computer, much like a Tesla on a highway can drive for you, our computer can do the same thing. It's just kind of driving these executions. And what's cool is, well, you have like interactive brokerage, which allows you to trade per share, and then you're kind of paying just as Brad was saying, $1 in, $1 out. So imagine that you're trading a stock like on the side, you're trying to time a Tesla move. I mean, not to, oh my goodness, hold on a second. Whoa, 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 Brad. Hey, Brad.
Yeah.
Excuse me there, Brad. Interrupt for a second. People ask us, does trade idea good for swing trading? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
Is that a rhetorical question?
Yes. Well, we're trying to joke, not joke here, but if anyone can say they broke the mold of the stock market, it's certainly us. And by the way, the AI does not always do this, but when it does, we use Michelob. I don't know why, I forget how the commercial works, but oh no, it's the world's greatest man. It gets you into things where in its mind, okay, it is looking for gigantic moves. That's the thing, because remember who programmed the AI? Crazy Dan Q++ Merkin and his buddy Brad, Bo and Luke Duke. We know, because we search all stocks, that moves like this from 5 to 22 in, let's say, whatever, a month, take place. We don't always know why they take place, but we also don't care to figure that out. What we care to do is be on them as much as we can. Mind you, the powers that be do not make it easy. Brad, should I keep rhyming?
No. Are you talking about NFEC?
Yeah, and notice, by the way, I mean, I get a little choked up when I see this. I mean, look at the first one, 128. So one of the things that we decided to do this year was put our old AI signals into the charts historically. So anytime the software buys or sells a stock, you can see it. Like, Brad, did it do anything here? Let's take a look. No, it did not. How about this one? And it does, and again, sometimes it doesn't. There's no. And then here you go. One here, one here.
I think your screen's slow to update, but yeah, I mean, it definitely leaves these types of footprints. It identifies these types of movements where a stock is waking up. And understand the way the market works, things don't always wake up on a dime like right now and everything happens. It'll wake up and it'll come back, and it does that because it shakes out the weak hands, you know, and that's just the way the market works. And when you over leverage yourself into a position, you put yourself in a very weak position, being able to hold that long or short. So it's really important that you don't oversize and you stay within your means. Everybody wants to kind of press it and really try to achieve much more gain than is realistic with the whole mindset. See, trading is such a mental game, and when you over leverage yourself, you take yourself out of it in a way.
Well, there's also the beautiful convergence of art and science in the same place. We have the best science, but remember that the battlefield is fought artistically. You know, these waves, these are real waves. You cannot walk, talk, or, you know, go, this move happened. This is, you know, various forms of psychological capitulation, you know, of both the longs and the shorts and etc. And this happens, you know, this is like mixed martial arts, if you ever watch it, or a boxing match, or any great sports where you see real legitimate struggle. the software that we have is kind of like the thing that brings light to the darkness. You're able to not only see the market the right way, but you're able to see the potential. And one of the beautiful things that we do, okay, it's kind of, Brad, that is the unknown, but yet if you understand it, then you really do, Brad, understand some of the rules that the AI works in. Notice the lines, ladies and gentlemen, okay? These lines ought not be taken for granted.
So you're talking about the lines on the chart, right?
Yeah, the directional navigational lines that tell you that, hey, if you're in this right here, this would be kind of like your daily smart stop. In other words, if it was not able to hold this level, well, much like in a mixed martial art, your guy did not finish strong. You know?
Yeah, it's identifying some support and resistance levels on the chart, giving you an indication. I mean, we do some really great overlays on the chart. Overlays for any symbol, giving you an indication of what a good intraday stop would be at that entry price point based upon that stock's volatility and how much its range for the day is, and a couple other factors. So we give you that information on the chart. Then we also give you more of a longer term, kind of, we call it a swing exit, but it's a longer term type of level of support that you should be aware of if you plan on holding this position for a longer period of time. But then we do some great stuff when it comes to an AI signal. So if you happen to be on an AI channel and you click on one of the signals in an AI window, then we populate some additional information on the chart to let you know where that AI signal was initially called, what the stop level for that particular stock is, what the profit target is. So we do that. And then one of the things that we're working on in the lab right now, which has some great synergy to that, is we're populating the orders and the information that's present inside of Brokerage Plus. So your positions that you have are populated on the chart. The stop orders that you have in there are populated on the chart, and you have the ability to grab that level on the chart, just like you would one of our price alerts, and move it around to a different level so you can visually move your orders around. Just really kind of bringing some nice synergy to all the different components of trade ideas into a good working tradable interface.
It's like the Ferrari is just getting a few of the Batmobile weaponized kind of options put in, you know, so that as it's shifting gears for you, it can throw out a little slick in the back so that the villains, you know.
So David's asking a question if that's only on Brokerage Plus. Well, you know, it's really any of the chart windows, but that data is populated on our charts through the Brokerage Plus window, right? We wouldn't know if you had an order out there or a stop order out there if we weren't integrated with that provider. So at presently, we're just integrated with Interactive Brokers, but we do have plans after we do the full release of this to everybody to broaden the broker structure of it and to allow more brokers through it.
And the way the AI is broken down is really three kind of separate AIs that we started with this one, and then we created these two as different derivatives of this one. Because again, we wanted to explore more things. And then we have this one channel called the Omni AI, which is a view mode that has all of the AIs together, where you can, again, track all the different elements. You can, you know, obviously sort them by what you want to sort them. And notice the colors here. So this is the other thing that Brad and I wanted to bring up, is that you can highlight and right click, and then in this case it would be trade to. So that similar kind of functionality will exist once we get all this going, where you can, again, trade from different elements of the software in a more cohesive manner, whereas now you can already go, like, let's say, for example, Brad, hold on, let me take a look, see who came first today.
So your computer's really slow to update. None of that was visible, at least not to me. Maybe it was to someone else, but...
Is it really bad?
Yeah, it's just a little pausey, but let me answer David. David's got a question. It's hilarious, right? David says, if you're really bad at trading like me and turn this on and set your risk, just let the computer do the work. what happens? Are you getting good results, or do I need to intervene? So there are a couple things, and specific to using this tech, you have to sit there and initially define how you want to manage the risk and what type of order you want to enter in with. So are you going to enter in with a limit order? Or are you going to do it with a market order? If the stock is running away on a momentum strategy, maybe that limit order isn't the best way to get it. But so there's a lot of different scenarios that you have to understand and set up before you turn the system on. But once you do
Brad, dang man, you sure we didn't make that exciting? Let me get some Brillo pad and some.
No. It's not that. I'm just saying that there are. You have to define how you want to start this thing up. You can't just turn it on and expect everybody to get the same results. How long are you holding the positions?
But I think may I answer, David, if I may? David, forget it. No, sorry, I'm just kidding. No, Brad's right, but I kind of look at it this way. As we are testing, the reason that this has not been released is kind of simple. We could already release it, but it would only work in risk off mode. In real life, just being in risk off mode is a little too dangerous, meaning that you get some and you lose some, but you need to be able to catch on the risk on mode to really make it worthwhile. So we are making risk on mode in the sense that, of course, you can put everything in risk on, right? But right now, Brad, what happens if you are stopped out?
Yeah, you're not going to get back in. So you're right. I mean, you're talking about, I'm talking about the pains that I'm currently experiencing in the testing mode, but the reality is the reentry aspect is.
Yes, Brad, sit on my couch, please. Let me tell me about David, I'll send him a shrink after this webinar, and yikes. I love it.
Well, it's the real world stuff, right? I mean,
it is. It totally is. But that's the kind of people we are not. And I love it because, like, Brad, who is like, you know what Brad is? You're talking to a fighter in the middle of, like, in mid rounds. You're like, hey, bud, hey, did you hear the news? He's like, wait, who? News? Where? No, but seriously, because we're so fully engaged in the testing, we are so deep in the matrix fighting, with Agent Smith, so to speak, that you can almost get sidetracked. But the reason why you guys aren't playing with this yet, right, is because we are taking the bloody noses for you to know that, well, number one, you can't just release it risk off, okay? You have to be able to say, okay, in risk on mode, if somehow it gets me out, I want it to get back in if it goes back in that direction. That's the key. That's what we're working on. That will be in the first release, and that's really the beautiful bottom line of it,
Yeah, in fact, what was the symbol today that was the stopped out?
Yeah. Hold on, wait, that's right. I will find it. Thank you, Brad. I
think that's illustrated nicely on the chart.
Right here. This is what we're trying to talk about, guys. Brad, wait, let me just blow this up. Whoa!
It might take a few moments, so keep the song and dance going.
Okay, here, I'm going to make it so that it's easy for everyone to see.
And what symbol was that?
PRQR. And by the way, remember, everyone, this is where, again, you can look at, hopefully if you're looking at my screen and it's updating well, notice the swing exits here. Right here. You see how it kind of knows the area sort of pretty good, and it's telling you you're actually not that far away from the big exit, but it's got you covered. And look at what it's trying to do. You can see what the AI is hunting for. You could see what it was going for here when it had that move, and then this gigantic candle, and then like wedged in, and here it goes, and then it failed.
Like a method actor. It's awesome. I mean,
but the future can't be predicted, is what I'm saying. It's just that as even a leopard will not hit every, antelope that it pounces on. Some of those suckers are fast and strong.
Just updated for us, buddy.
Did it update?
Yeah, it just updated. So this is great. And you can see, let me kind of talk a little bit through it so people know kind of the annotations that we're putting on the screen here on the chart. So I'm talking specifically about the PRQR chart, the bottom one. the white one, and you can see that blue arrow. So that blue arrow, along with that, that 1727 AI blue box, that's showing you what candle at what time that signal was called. And we're also overlaying some gradient on there, some colored gradient. You can see where the stop price was at 1702. And this stock just got stopped out, right? And without the functionality and the ability to re-enter based upon some preset rule, you're not going to be able to capture this type of trade. And another thing is this particular symbol, let me kind of look at it real quick. The 5-day bounce. I'm not exactly sure off the top of my head how long the hold time is, but it might be like a 60-minute hold. Well, the reality is holding this for 60 minutes isn't going to give you the ability to achieve this great return. So there's a little bit of gray area involved in determining how long you can hold a position or you should hold a position. That's what trading is all about.
But that's what risk on mode is all about.
That's right. And being able to get back in if you've exited that position for a variety of different reasons, whether it's being stopped out, whether it's having a profit save get you out. We want to be able to get back in and in case a stock continues to move.
But, Dr. Williams, Luke, back to your couch though. Psychologically speaking, risk on explains something very succinct. Risk pays. If you do not know that, well, understand that that's the only thing that pays. Throwing your money in a mutual fund, I no pay. Investing in the SPY, maybe some pay. Only if it goes up, but no pay for 17 years if you bought in 2000.
Well, no alpha.
And we just don't know when when the year 2000, every year. Do you realize that every single day that the market is open could be the beginning of the new year 2000? That's the funny thing that you sort of have to keep in mind. They don't want you to keep that in mind. But we at Trade Ideas do want you to keep that in mind, which is why we also showcase this beautiful thing, Brad, going back to light to dark. The theme. What do we show you? Look at what's possible in stocks. You know, that PRQR move. Look at that. From 1727 to 1827, boom, target hit. And then risk on closes, 30 cents higher. Tip for the bartender. It's like good manners at the crap table. If you guys have ever heard of Fortnite, it's this game that's taking over kids. If you have kids, be careful. I have some. Brad's kids are too old for Fortnite. Brad, you're lucky.
I missed that.
You are so lucky. But the bottom line is what you're seeing here, guys, and hopefully Bill's been able to see.
Yeah, it's updated since then, but it was when you were talking, we were looking at something different.
Guys, what we have here is the adult Fortnite. That's why we're taking it very easy and not trying to rush, as the old bull says to the young bull. Brad, why don't we walk down there? I say to the young bull over there who is on the couch. Don't rush, Brad.
There are plenty of them.
I know you want to run down there and chase that one stock, that Tesla, or that SPY thingy. But Brad, slow down, I say. Let's walk down there and try them all. The commissions are cheap,
There's always something moving in the market, and one of the things that we do, the tech that we've created and developed over the last 16 years, the tech that we've developed is tech that it allows us to create metadata, new data. We know what's normal for every stock on all time frames and everything. But when something crazy happens, when something abnormal happens, we can alert you to it. So of all the 20,000 different stocks that are out there, we're listening to everything. And when something kind of sends the alert and the radar off, then we can deliver that to you into one of these windows. And we created the channel bar to really show you what you can do with this software. We created all of these different windows and themes, themed workspaces, to let you get started right away. But you can go through them and see how we created these windows and make your own, and then use our custom channel bar to put in your own channels up there, so that you've got a mix of ours and yours. And it's a product that's evolved over the last 16 years. And where we are right now is taking that AI great stuff that we developed over the last couple years and turning it loose with some automation, the ability to take the emotion out of it.
And the automation that we're building and we're adding to this, well, David, I showed you how in real life it's been able to perform. We've been able to do some amazing stuff, but we also have to crash the car, so to speak. And we don't have that risk on mode transition, so we can't mimic all of that, which is why we're testing lots of reversing. So we do lots of, again, kind of grinding, so to speak, but grinding with an emotional impact, which is, again, I think, Brad, you and I have discussed this on our marketing meetings and meetings with our other people in the departments. To give you some secret sauce, one of the things that we do is we actually trade real money, and as a result, feel real pain and create real requirements from that. It's a beautiful thing, Brad, and I don't think lots of people do that.
Yeah, I mean, that's really we've been doing this for a while, and that's the only way to do it.
Yeah, no, I mean, there's just one way. It's almost as if somebody never wanted anybody to trade. Brad, could that have been? Probably. But to make a long story short, we're kind of creating that Ferrari type of environment. And the beauty is, too, it's not like we hide the fact that it doesn't always work out. Look, here, you can see what the AI is doing, right? Remember we told you that it's always trying to go for a big one, like that ND, whatever, that one that it got early and it ran up over the year from 1 to 22. I mean, come on, first of all, that's amazing. But number two, not everything works out that day. Here, boom, you get stopped out. Brad, you would have gone back in, by the way, and what would have happened? You've been stopped out again. Guess what? That happens.
Yeah, so Brian, he's asking about setting alerts for pre-market gainers. And we do have a pre-market channel, which has some top lists, but there's also a multi-strategy window or an alert window that's looking for some different market actions like pre-market highs and pre-market lows. So you can configure it to look for that type of information. Probably a good place to start would be the pre-market channel. And then you can always, take a window out and modify it and put your own price point, volume levels, and things like that in there.
Well, let me get back to the presentation real quick. First of all, remember what we said before. You're watching real money here, so it was able to do what we needed to do, and you can see we're doing lots of different stuff here. We're doing bigger position sizes, we're doing smaller position sizes, because again, we have to take it through the paces.
And so everybody, one of the little nuances, it's a feature that we've recently added, so many may not be aware of it, but you can customize the share quantity that you see inside of any of the Holly windows. So if you just go up to our toolbar and go to tools and options and then find the AI category, you can tell it, are you going to trade a certain share quantity? Are you going to trade a certain dollar value or a certain risk amount based upon where the stop loss is? So that's all information that you can completely customize for your display inside of the AI window. And the info that you get over on the channel bar, that's just hypothesizing that you're trading one share for every trade.
Yeah. And I'm back on the presentation mode right now. So you're, again,
the Brokerage Plus Holly AI.
Yep. So this is where Brad and I are, and what we're working on right now is we're putting better graphics in here so you can see your positions. I'm not going to show you that you can actually see yourself in the software, but you can. Notice also the hearts. For those of you that don't know, any symbol, if you're not interested in it, you can click it, a little heart plus icon, and then lights up red, and then the software will simply follow this stock on a channel, and there's a whole channel for stocks that you like. So these are, again, kind of like mimicking what you would do on social media, but in the stock market. So that this way you have less of a chance of forgetting it. Then, of course, we talk about setting the alerts and things like that very quickly right off the charts. You see those pin marks that I have right there. Those are alerts that you can visually set right off the charts just based on levels that you like. And one of the great things that you're going to find out about us is that we have a constant weekly curriculum schedule that's geared around getting all of you guys familiar with the technology, so that there's never really a point that you're sort of, I guess, searching. I mean, we have a very active support board. Barry Anderson does our trading room, and I'm going to get to that slide, but let me see. Here it is. It's trade-ideas.com/trading room. Barry runs that all throughout the day from the beginning to the end. There's a whole group of very active Trade Ideas users in there, and everyone is helpful, and it's another meritocracy. And plus, Barry is now starting to use Brokerage Plus, so you will see all that beautiful, beautiful stuff on his screen. And this is, by the way, completely free, so if you don't know anything about Trade Ideas and are just window shopping, Brad, I would say there's no better place. In terms of how we actually provide Brad his Porsche money, okay? Ooh, this is not the right promo code, right, Brad? Or is it?
It should be the right promo code. Scott? I know Scott's joined us here.
I thought it was a Brokerage Plus for like, I'm not sure.
It's Holly paper now.
Okay, got it. Thanks, Scott. By the way, Scott, happy birthday, everyone. Scott's birthday.
Yeah, thank you. Another year older.
We guys are grateful for Scott and all the work he does getting all the messaging out. So super stoked for him. Have a great birthday today, Scott. So back to the presentation. We are a software as a service provider. We're a subscription-based service, and if you think about how much we cost, we like to do it in lunch terms so that everyone can understand it in terms of a sandwich and a beverage. So, Brad, don't you think that's a good way to do it?
I mean, we got to eat and drink, right?
I mean, that's something everyone can relate to. So every day we all basically eat, unless some of us fast, but I mean, we all basically eat a day. Sometimes we go out for lunch, in other words, we shop for food. But if you're going out to eat, okay, in terms of the standard subscription, the monthly rate turns into $3.90 a day, and for the premium monthly, it's $7.50 a day. So you're talking again, possibly a nice Starbucks and maybe spinach feta wrap, something like that. Maybe a little bit more McDonald's, a little bit less at In-N-Out, because In-N-Out's really good. But you get the idea that on the yearly, this is not how you pay, of course, but on the yearly, you can see that this is what it costs in terms of on a per day for the standard or the premium. Just like what it is that you're really spending on a day-to-day basis to get artificial intelligence that's looking at the stock market, trying to find amazing opportunities for you to take advantage of that are no one else is trying to find. That's kind of what we do for a living. As I've mentioned, Barry's Trading Room, a fantastic way to window shop if you're just interested, but you just want to see how the flow goes. We are on the podcast bandwagon, although, my goodness, I don't know what I can tell you guys. It was my fault for not being there, and Jamie was too much of a wuss to do it himself. See, Brad, do you see how I still blame Jamie? Especially when he can't defend himself, that's when I'm at my best. Okay. So Jamie and I usually do the podcast, and I'm fairly certain we will be doing one this Friday. Yeah, we're going to catch you up on a lot of stuff because, well, Brad and I are literally, we're forging as we're fighting. Right, Brad? Forging and fighting.
Always doing it.
Man, it's incredible stuff happening, guys. It's a privilege to do it, and then to be able to vend this to you guys, and it allows us to succeed at every level. Scott gets to see it. The marketing side gets to see it. The tech side gets to see it. A win-win, and of course for the listeners and the customers. So really cool stuff. Podcast gets a lot of positive reviews. Tons of different ways that we communicate with you. Of course, here's another free one. It's an ebook that talks about the fact that you must be aware of the downside. Any good investor has to be able to gain while others lose, not just outpace other people's gains when everyone's gaining. That's called alpha. It's like everyone's going up with the S&P if it's going up, but you've got to outpace everybody if you want to really have some sort of advantage. So we're about that, but the other way is, of course, to participate on the downside. And to participate on the downside, it's kind of simple. You have to A, remove the fear, and B, participate. Holly does that. Brad, I mean, it's done by itself, right? That's the beauty of it. You don't have to think about it.
Taking the emotion out or managing the emotion is critical.
We have done it. We have taken the emotion out of this thing, and in a way that no one else has ever done it before, especially for the mass market. And we're doing it 1,000 at a time. And again, this is going to be a very limited offer for Brokerage Plus at $1,100. So finally, in ending this webinar, tons of information. These are our various social media personalities at Trade Ideas, at QuantBot, and at Today Trader. And of course, we are available on Facebook at /Trade Ideas Pro. And if you have any questions, you can reach us at info@trade-ideas.com. This presentation will be recorded, and you will get a reminder when we are all done. Scott, anything else that I'm missing?
No, that sounds good. Remember, direct your question to info@trade-ideas.com. It's the best place to send them.
Okay, and once again, Scott, happy birthday, have fun, and take care.
Yeah, thank you. Talk soon.
Bye.